Michael Kingsbury. I'm the writer-director of GULAG MAGADAN, and this is going to be part 6 in my director commentary on the film. And let's get started.
Of being angry.
Yes. He said anger leads to genocide.
That's a lie. Soviet propaganda.
Lies lead to genocide. Told him so. Maybe he'll think about it.
State system enables genocide.
State lies, not human anger, leads to genocide.
You do not exist as individual. You only exist as part of the collective. Karl Marx, the proletariat is...
And that was a critical scene there in which the two dissidents are saying that hate doesn't lead to genocide, that lies lead to genocide. State laws and lies lead to genocide. Basically, what they're saying is that it's not human emotions that cause genocide, but it is the state authoritarian laws which lead to genocide. And these laws are largely passed due to lies. And it's the promulgation of lies lead a state to pass laws which can lead to genocide, as we saw in the USSR, in which there was complete state control of the propaganda, which pumped out lies 24/7. And then they passed laws to exterminate people based upon those lies. Let's continue to watch the film here.
Они не могат прикоснуться ко мне. Мне нет.
Я никогда не буду говорить. Они меня могут бить.
Я заметил, военком краде наши поставки. Продават их.
Они не могут прикоснуться ко мне больше. Меня нет.
Они могут бить меня. Я не заговорю.
Я заметил, военком крадет наши поставки. Продават их.
Yeah, these scenes were filmed with real sledgehammers. I could not afford props of plastic sledgehammers. They were too expensive, and also, in addition, they wouldn't have given the effect of reality. It's having a real 15-pound sledgehammer for an actress at this was close to about 7,500 feet, maybe 7,000 feet. Having that kind of physical labor during their performance in the snow, in the cold, really adds to authenticity in the performances and what they can deliver on their character. And I really want to compliment some of these supporting actors here, who, especially the non-Russian speaking ones, who mastered their lines, who reached out to the Russian speaking actors and went over their lines and perfected the pronunciation and the accents. They did a great job, and let's continue to watch this here. All of those props and the clothing, the wardrobe, the boots, the rags, I hand painted myself. I would hand paint and stain the rags with tar and with paint and grease and tear them up to make them look realistic. I hand painted all of the effects on the film. It was a work of art in terms of what I put into it. These are very unique props and clothing and gear that I fixed up so they wouldn't look like they were just out of a prop house. The problem with a prop house is that you have to return the materials in the same way that you got them. So you can't paint, you can't fix them up. And this is the problem with historical films. A lot of historical films, all the uniforms look nice and clean and brand new and all this other things because they have to return them to the prop house. And it's really unrealistic. Real uniforms in war or in a historical film like this, real clothing is worn, it's weathered, it's stained, it has all kinds of details on it which add authenticity, which you don't get from a bunch of suits from a clothing wardrobe from a prop house. Let's continue this.
Will not subscribe to or buy newspaper or magazine in which information is distorted and primary facts are concealed. Of course, we have not listed all of possible and necessary deviations from falsehood, but person who purifies himself will easily distinguish other instances with his purified outlook. No, it will not be same for everybody at first. Some, at first, will lose their jobs. For young people who want to live with truth, this will, in beginning, complicate their young lives very much, because required recitations are stuffed with lies, and it is necessary to make choices. But there are no loopholes for anybody who wants to be honest. On any given day, any one of us will be confronted with at least one of above mentioned choices, even in most secure of technical sciences, either truth or falsehood, towards spiritual independence or towards spiritual servitude. But there are no loopholes for anybody who wants to be honest. On any given day, any one of us will be confronted with at least one of above mentioned choices, even in most secure of technical sciences, either truth or falsehood, towards spiritual independence or toward spiritual.
Yeah, that was a long scene of one of Solzhenitsyn's Live Not by Lies excerpts from his 1974 essay, which was so effective in terms of passive resistance that the Soviet authorities arrested him and put him on a plane and sent him out of the USSR. I think it was in April 1974. The Live Not by Lies essay that he wrote about it's a classic for dissidents of all eras in all empires. It talks about passive resistance, and I wanted to put that into the voiceover of this film because I wanted to honor Solzhenitsyn. I wanted to expose people to his great essay, Live Not by Lies. It is very important that all dissidents read that essay because a lot of it, about I would say 90% of it, relates to our current circumstances. And now we're on to the scene, which is really important, about faith, prayer and faith. Having a spiritual connection with something greater than yourself enables you to do the work of God, or do the work of the gods, whichever is your religion. And it's absolutely vital that our current crop of dissidents, they know how important that prayer and faith is. So let's get into this scene because it's a very, very important scene. It's the Hill of Crosses scene. In every one of my films, we have a Hill of Crosses scene, and it's based upon the Lithuanian Hill of Crosses that they kept building every night and the Soviets would take them down during the day. And finally, the Soviets gave up because the Lithuanians kept putting up crosses. And it's a monumental hill of crosses. It's a monumental testament to human faith. And let's watch this scene here.
Or toward spiritual servitude.
Господи, помилуй наши души. 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 Господи, помилуй наши души.
Yeah, that last scene you just saw with the subtitles was an actual Panikhida prayer, which is a prayer for the departed in the Russian Orthodox Church, and it's one of the great scenes during the Hill of Crosses in each of my movies, which has an authentic recitation of the prayer for the departed. And this was filmed on a hillside that was so steep that one of the supporting actors couldn't make it up the hill. It was I would say it's about maybe 45 degrees steep slope, very steep slope. And to shoot on that slope, of course, was tricky because the snow was encrusted with ice, being California snow. And the tripod and things like that, you'd have to smash the feet through the ice crust into different layers of snow and try to count on firm footing for the tripod. But it's very tricky because you make one slip and you're going to go way down about 50 feet. So this was a challenge. Another challenge was that when we were shooting a scene, a family stopped their vehicle because we're shooting right below the road, right here, right below the road to Mount Pinos. And a family stopped their vehicle and got out with several kids and started to, they wanted to sled right where we're shooting. And they were nice enough that they moved to the side about 80 feet away. But the kids, of course, were yelling. And so we were trying to film the takes because the sun is sinking down and we're trying to shoot the takes in between the kids yelling. And so I would instruct the actor when she was reading that Panikhida prayer to just go over it and over it and over it and over it 4 or 5 times nonstop. I'll just roll the camera. And then we'll just use the take in which the kids aren't screaming on the sleds in the background. But this is indie film. Indie film, you don't say, oh, everybody, we're going to wait and we're just going to, we're going to do nothing until we get perfect sound, okay? We don't have the money for that. The sun's setting, we lose our equipment rentals, day's over, we don't have the scene shot. You have to shoot no matter what. And all of these actors, they're extremely professional and tough-minded. And when there's kids screaming right off the base, they never once said to me, "Hey, how's this going to sound?" They were like troopers. They went right in and they just kept on performing. And that's what you have to do. And you get the break with no kid background noise. You have to fix a little of it in post, but let's continue. It's an amazing scene there, where this actress tries to touch the light of God, and she was able to go to extremely sensitive places within her, while performing in absolutely tough conditions. The cold, ice, snow, and what I had to do, the actors looked at this slope when I first put up the hill acrosses, and they basically laughed because it was so steep. So I went up for about 30 minutes, and with an ice axe and a sledgehammer, I tore out steps basically on the entire hillside. I put up steps where they could put their feet and walk all the way up. I had to sculpt, carve out myself, no crew, but myself. I had to physically go up with a sledgehammer and ice axe and carve out places so it would be safe for them to kneel on this steep hillside. That's the kind of effort that goes into this. It's not a case of, oh, I didn't have the crew, it was too steep a hillside, we couldn't get the actors up there. You get the actors up there, and you go up yourself, and you rip out the hillside with a sledgehammer and an ice axe, and then you get behind the camera and you shoot it. This is how it's done. You get it done no matter what. There's no excuses. Let's continue to watch. And these actors, they respected that, and they put themselves out right on the line. They put their entire souls out. That concludes my director commentary number 6 for Gulag Magadan. This is a very important topic of the Marxist USSR genocide of over 65 million people, most of whom were European. If you have friends or family or relatives, please pass them this video. And once again, if you like my commentary on this video, you can hit the like button, and please subscribe to whichever channel you're watching this on, whether it's BitChute or YouTube.